Senator Paul?
Yeah, I had one follow-up question. You know, I think it's curious that only in Washington can you spend $2 billion and claim that you're saving money. Here's a thought. Perhaps the $2 billion we spend on OAA, if we subsumed that into another program and didn't spend it, that might be saving money. But to simply say that we're taking money and saving money that would be spent otherwise, I think is the idea or notion that spending money in Washington somehow is saving money. It really kind of flies past most of the taxpayers. Now, what I would say, though, is that, or the question I actually have is, with food stamps, can you buy these home-delivered meals? Ms. Greenlee?
I always think of food stamps as primarily buying groceries, but I'm understanding. I was going to get some.
Apparently you can.
You can buy some home delivery.
You can. The USDA fact sheet in your binder says that you can take food stamps and you can buy home delivered meals. So if the sole purpose of this is to have prepared meals and nobody else is providing them, we could privatize Meals on Wheels and let food stamps buy the thing and save $2 billion, and then we really would be saving money. Thank you.
Let me just make a comment, maybe ask you a question. Senator Paul has suggested that only in Washington can people believe that spending money actually saves money. And I think that is the kind of philosophy which results in us spending almost twice as much per person on health care as any other country on earth. Because we have millions of Americans who can't get to a doctor on time. Some of them die, some of them become very, very ill. They end up in the emergency room, they end up in the hospital at great cost, rather than making sure they have access to a doctor. Maybe it's the same reason why we have more people in jail than any other country on earth, including China, tied to the fact that we have the highest poverty rate among children of any other major country on earth. So the point is, and I think we have a bit of a difference here, I think Senator Franken has spoken to the fact that prevention, keeping people healthy, taking care of their needs at home, does actually save money. And that if you deny those resources, if you're leaving a senior citizen home today alone, isolated, confused about medicine, not getting the nutrition they need, you know what happens to that person? That person collapses. That person ends up in an emergency home. That person ends up in a nursing home at much greater cost to the system. So my own belief is, Ms. Greenlee, we have got to do a lot more. Our goal should be that no senior in this country goes hungry, that we do everything that we can to keep seniors out of nursing homes and in their own homes, if that's what they choose, by making sure that we have people visiting them, making sure they're doing well with their medications, making sure that they're getting the nutrition and the food that they need. So I happen to believe that intelligently investing in the needs of our people does, in fact, save us substantial sums of money. Ms. Greenlee,
Just want to say one thing. I want to make it very narrow. Very narrow. Does the Older Americans Act save the American taxpayer money by allowing, and I'm going to say it as clearly as I can, because I don't think this is, I think Minnesotans understand this. And when I was in Minnesota, and again, I would urge any senator who has their doubts about this to actually go to a senior center and actually go on the ground and ask about this. But here's my very precise question. Does the Older Americans Act save taxpayers money by allowing seniors to stay in their homes as opposed to going to nursing homes?
Yes, Senator.
Thank you. Do you want to expand upon that?
I guess my expanded answer would be that I believe the program from the very inception was designed to target outreach to individuals who are most at risk for spin down to Medicaid and most at risk for nursing home admission. And everything that we can do to help invest in the community and less expensive services, help people stretch their own assets, help people avoid Medicaid, is a wise investment, because once they receive Medicaid services, regardless of their setting, they're much more expensive.
And are there people in actual other places besides Washington, D.C. that understand that, like in the states where this is administered?
I think in Kansas we had figured that out, yeah.
Yeah, in Minnesota too.
Thank you.
Senator Paul wanted to make another comment.
I appreciate the great and very, I think, collegial discussion, and we do have different opinions. You know, some of us believe more in the ability of government to cure problems, and some of us believe more in the ability of private charity to cure these problems. I guess what I still find curious is, though, that if we are saving money with the $2 billion we spend, perhaps we should give you $20 billion. Is there a limit? Where would we get to? How much money should we give you in order to save money? So if we spend federal money to save money, where is the limit? I think we could reach a point of absurdity. Thank you.
I think you just did.
Well, I would suggest, Senator Paul, that when you have seniors in this country who are dealing with food insecurity, who are not getting the nutrition that they need, my guess is that the government is wasting substantial sums of money by not taking care of those seniors who will end up in emergency rooms, in hospitals, and in nursing homes. So you asked that question. My answer is I don't want to see one senior in this country go hungry. It's the morally right thing to do. And from a fiscally conservative point of view, saving government money, in my view, it is the right thing to do. Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you. Thank you, Senators.